you looking at?
It's trying to get that hat in the frame, I think.
Yeah. You wearing like three different things. You wearing Nike, Jazz, and Bears, bro. Like,
Yep.
yeah, Broncos.
They didn't play this week.
You don't even got Broncos merch, do you?
I do. I got a shirt. I just left it at home. I was like, tag, bro.
Oh yeah.
I got the Super Bowl 50 shirt.
You might as well talk your shit right now, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't nothing to talk about.
No, because I don't want to hear it, bro. I want to hear it later on. I want to hear it right now, bro. You might as well get it out before we get to the topics. Don't even press subscribe button yet. Just talk. Just let Jalen speak for a little bit, bro.
You know, the misery we've had, the misery of a Bears fan to be in the Packers shadow for so long, and to finally get Caleb Williams. Started 2025 off with a dub against the Packers. But they said we played against the backup. So I listened. I was like, all right, you know what? We did play against the backups. Played him in Green Bay. He played well. It came down to the wire again. They won. Off of an interception we threw late. And then Saturday. You know, they say the Bear games don't start to the fourth quarter, like my sister said. She say these Bear games don't start to the fourth quarter. She might be right. Bear games don't start to the fourth quarter. Don't watch the Bears to the fourth quarter because I almost had cardiac arrest. We had a game, so I couldn't really see so much. Last time I saw it was 21-3 when we was losing. And I was like, you know what? This team. And then the 15-minute mark, 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams. He still got a lot to work on. He still got so much to do, but
I ain't gonna lie, bro. What does he have to work on at this point, bro?
He's still got to work. He got to work on
presence.
He got to work on the ball getting over the shoulder.
He's the clutchest.
He can't throw that. He can't throw the ball over the shoulder consistently. But me and my dad was like, he still got to throw the ball over the middle of the field consistently. So that's about it.
He's looking better than Jaden Daniels looked last year.
The thing about Caleb is, he's really good at making the difficult throws, but he's almost worse at making the easy ones.
That's what I'm saying. That's like he got to make the regular throws. He still got to work on a lot of things. He still got to work on throwing the ball over the shoulder because he cannot do that consistently at all. And then he still got to be able to throw the ball over the middle of the field.
He got to become a first-half quarterback too. He don't be doing nothing in the first half.
And that's ultimately why he don't get the recognition he deserves because he always got to come back. But, you know, subscribe, hit the like button for us. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot Sports Podcast. Grab a drink or snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll break down and do a deep dive in the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. Subscribe, share, even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Hit the like button for us and tap the notification bell on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop, whenever we have a show. Today we got on the show Chris Pittner. We got Nazir Spencer. You know, there's one of our buddies who did not have such a good weekend, and he won't be on for a minute, I don't think. But that's okay. As long as he can get himself back to right because we need him at baseball time. But how was everybody's weekend?
You know, shitty. It is what it is. I don't know what happened to Chris, but you know, it's rough.
The Packers first, then the Chargers.
I mean, I ain't really a Packer fan, but like it did suck because I was in Chicago all weekend, and I just had to hear all that, you know, banter from the Bears fans. Yeah, I'll just start by saying this, bro. Let's just wait till Chris get back too, but it's tough defending teams, bro, that just don't show up. And You just got to be able to live with it as a fan. And, you know, Sam, he'll get better, but you know, he took it to heart. He ain't get the game right. So,
and the crazy thing is, I'm not gonna put all our business out there, but he was doing a lot of talking after the Wisconsin-Michigan game, and then the Jaguars lost. So that's all I can say about that.
Look, man, I'm gonna start with this, man. Look, I didn't get a single AFC game right besides last night's game, Texans Steelers. Josh Allen played amazing against the Jaguars, even not having the wide receiver ones that he's supposed to have. Keon Coleman actually played decent for once.
Finally.
But I know everyone want to hear about the Chargers game. And
we're not gonna spill too much right now. We're gonna get, we're gonna have our topic to talk about everything, but we got to get a couple things off our chest to start the show.
It's just hard, bro. You know, because you go into this game expecting to win, and you just get slaughtered like that, even though you shouldn't have. I got a lot to say about that team, bro. Dude, but you know, before we get to that, we can just get to the first topic. No, we ain't won. We just line is.
So first, what I wanted to start off with first, because the rest of the show is probably going to be about NFL. We do have a national championship in college football that is set. We do have that. We do have a team that just absolutely dog walked the University of Oregon. So we're going to jump into our first topic, which is the college football playoffs. You know, we finally have it set, and here's our updated bracket. So what can we say is the most surprising thing on this list?
Nothing. Look, I told everybody, if anybody tuned in to the Friday show, I said Miami is going all the way, even though they don't belong in the playoffs. Okay, after losing to two unranked teams, not even making it to the ACC championship, they didn't belong. I knew they were going to be Texas A&M. I told David that they were going to beat Ohio State with that defense, and that's exactly what they did. Now, I thought Georgia was going to make it. I thought Georgia was going to play Miami and just dust them, but Georgia didn't show up against Ole Miss on the defensive side. Now, I mean, that's not saying much, but sure. But Ole Miss didn't show up. I knew they weren't going to show up. So Miami inevitably made it all the way. And I think, I'm not going to lie to you, I know Indiana's been putting up these crazy numbers against Alabama and Oregon. Oregon just, I'm a Ducks fan, bro. Nah, that was embarrassing. But Indiana, they've been putting up some crazy numbers. I'm rooting for them. But I don't know if they're doing that against Miami. I've been telling people all playoffs, if Carson Beck can take care of the ball, which I know he can. Everyone knows he can. He's an elite, experienced college quarterback. If he takes care of the ball and that defense shows up, they win this game. And it's in Miami. Come on, man. It's the writing is on the wall. It's for them. Michael Irvin's always on the sideline, you know, having a blast with those boys down there. I'm telling you, Miami is in for the win this year. And I think Indiana comes up short just because of that defense. That defensive line is crucial, and it's NFL ready at every level. And the linebackers on that team read everything. They signal everything. They are ready for this challenge. And I think Mendoza is going to have a terribly, just a terrible struggle against this defense. He has not faced a defense this good since I don't even know I don't think there's a defense he played this good this year. So I got Miami.
I got Indiana. I'm not gonna say. I mean, there's something about when you're trying to get your first one and you got a coach that's practically as similar as Nick Saban. they're gonna be ready to play, regardless if that Miami defense is great. They're gonna be all that. That Indiana defense is something special as well. That Indiana defense is. Oregon was one of the highest offenses in all of college football, and we've seen it when they played against Texas Tech. Texas Tech had arguably a great defense. That's who I had going to the national championship. Obviously, didn't them fall into Georgia because of their defense. You know, I seen them play against BYU and things like that, and I was like, okay, Texas Tech is legit. So I'm like, okay, I picked them to go to the national championship. They'll fall to Georgia because Georgia's just superior, right? And then Indiana came up against Oregon after Oregon put a good whooping on Texas Tech, and then Indiana. Everybody said that Alabama game was, Alabama shouldn't have been there. We all know that. Everybody said that. No one said that about Oregon. And then Indiana came in there, beat TA, belt to ass. It's not even a word to put on what they did to Dante Moore. That defense made Dante Moore say, okay, you got to come back to college, bro. You ain't ready for the league. It's time to come back to college, bro.
I agree.
And Cignetti gonna have them boys ready. And now people saying it's gonna be home field advantage for Miami. They can say that, but I'm sorry, the Indiana faithful is going to travel.
I don't know about that, bro.
They gonna travel. The first title in program history.
I understand, but travel. It's in Miami.
Yes, they're going to travel.
They'll travel, but it ain't gonna be as effective as you think.
In Georgia.
Did you see the crowd at Indiana's last game? It was basically a home game.
I understand, but
they own like 90% of the stadium.
Miami, they are going to travel.
I'm not saying they're not going to travel, but it's not going to be as effective as these last two games. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, but I'm not saying this isn't just a Miami home game for them. And Indiana, this is something different. They go
into that game thinking that it's a like a home game for Miami though. They ain't gonna just go there thinking, hey, we go pack out the entire stadium. They go in there thinking, hey, we got to go win on the road. This ain't neutral.
They know it's not neutral, and Miami should know that they gonna come in. That Indiana is gonna come in there with a different level of urgency because they even though they're the favorite, people are counting them out. And the last time we did that, just asked Penn State and Ohio State.
I mean, I think we all. I knew they were going to win the Big Ten. I just didn't think they were, going to beat this team. I don't think. I knew they were going to beat Alabama. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer, but it wasn't. Oregon, I thought Dante Moore was.
I mean, but it's like they haven't even really in the playoff at least haven't been tested once this entire.
That's what I'm trying to say. Miami's defense.
I think it's the other way. I think Indiana's just gonna take it right from the jump.
Texas A&M was a big challenge. They barely won that game. Ohio State's obviously the big challenge. They're defending champions. Ole Miss, I guess you could say that was an easier one. But I don't think Mendoza's this playoffs yet. Alabama's defense wasn't. Oregon's defense got shredded. Oregon's defense put up. Okay.
Yeah, you can say that, but
I just don't think he's played a good.
If people think that D-line is going to get to Mendoza all game, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Because
why is that sadly mistaken? Bro, this D-line
the Indiana O-line is just different.
That Indiana O-line, if you think you're just going to be putting Mendoza on his ass, that's not going to happen. It's not going to be happening all game.
Ohio State's O-line is arguably better than Indiana's this year.
And he was
also forgetting what Indiana made
them.
The prospective number 2 pick in the draft look like last week. He looked terrible in that game, and Carson Beck's not half as good as Dante Moore is.
Yeah, but what do you think that Miami did to the defending champs and Ole Miss offense that was blazing hot coming to the playoffs?
I'm sorry, but everybody said. I mean, I'm sorry. I've been saying that all season. Ohio State was overrated. I knew that. They didn't play not one person, and I knew exactly.
I watched Ohio State in person, and I was not wowed by.
They were the 2 seed. I mean,
they got the 2 seed because they.
Well,
played...
if you look at their schedule all season, like Jalen said, they played Texas week 1, who wasn't in the playoff. Didn't play a single ranked team until the end of the year when they played Michigan, who also didn't make the playoff. Then they lost to Indiana and then lost to Miami.
I just think Miami's defense is going to be the game changer. I think it always comes in college, at least. It always comes down to those defenses who can actually come up and make a stop. You know how college is offense heavy, but in championship games, we've seen in the past, we've seen defenses have to step up and stop these high-powered offenses because it's not NFL. You know, you're not going to have these professional schemes going into these games. But I'm trying to tell you, if Carson Beck can take care of the ball,
Indiana's defense is just as good.
But do you trust Carson Beck to take care of the ball? Because I don't.
Indiana's
I don't
defense
trust
is
him.
just as good.
He's done it all playoffs. He's taken care of the ball all playoffs. Has not turned the ball over in crucial moments.
But he also hasn't faced a defense that's as good as Indiana's is at forcing
Neither is
turnovers.
Indiana. Though.
They made Dante Moore look like a fool the
better.
other day.
Yeah, Dante Moore hasn't been that great this playoffs. I mean, we all saw this coming. I mean, look at the Texas Tech game, Oregon versus Texas Tech. He didn't play good at all. They barely beat Texas Tech, and Texas Tech didn't put up a point. They should have won by 40.
Exactly. And then Indiana made them look like idiots in that game. They put up 56 points on them. I mean, like
that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, but they haven't. Indiana has not faced a great defense like this, and I understand what you're saying. That Indiana's defense is great. I'm not saying that either, but I think Miami's defense is better. They have a better O-line. They have better linebackers. They have pretty similar corners, I'd say. I think Indiana's safeties are a little bit better. But, I mean, overall, this Miami defense, if it gets to the quarterback, it creates some issues for Mendoza. I'm rooting for the guy.
That we're talking about.
I mean, it's not even ifs. Go look at the past games. Ole Miss destroyed the quarterback all game. Ohio State couldn't run the ball like at all.
So they got put Ole Miss on the same level as Indiana.
I mean, they made it that far.
Ole Miss's defense is not half as good.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about their offense. I'm not talking about their defense. I'm talking about all these offenses that Miami's defense had to play, which have been great all year. Texas A&M. No one thought they were going to put up 10 points or whatever they put up. The offense was blazing hot all year. Ohio State, we all know what Ohio State's capable of on offense. Ole Miss destroyed Georgia with their offense. Coming to this game, can't move the ball down the stretch against Miami. Miami's defense is the game changer this entire playoffs. And I came into this playoff saying Miami's defense will be the game changer for them to make a deep run, which they have. And I'm not saying Indiana's trash because we all know they're not. But I think this is going to be a very tough task for Mendoza to get through. I know Carson Beck also has to do what he has to do on offense, and I trust Mendoza more than Carson Beck, obviously. But I just don't think he's played this level of defense yet. All year, this defense has been on fire. I got Miami by 3. That's all.
I ultimately think that Miami might. I think that Indiana might win by 10, because they say that they say Miami defensive line is great, which it is. And the Miami defense is great, but the Indiana O-line is just as great. So it's going to be hell in them trenches. And Miami has won in them trenches all season long, regardless who they played, whether they tough, good, bad, whatever, all kinds of schemes. They've always owned the trenches. Period. I mean, you can go back and watch the
disagree with Jalen on this one. I got Indiana in this game as well. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No, it's not going to be a blowout.
A lot of their last games have been, but
no. If Carson Beck turns the ball over, it will be a blowout. But
I mean, and the thing is, right? Miami put up 31 points to beat Ole Miss. I don't know if Miami's capable of doing that against in Indiana. I just don't see it. Like, I don't think Carson Beck is talented enough to put up 31 points on an Indiana to win that game, because that's probably what it's going to take.
Indiana will score 3 touchdowns in this game. That's just their nature of football. That's just how good they are. 3 touchdowns is very low compared to how many they actually score. And
I don't think it's going to be as easy as you guys think it's going to be.
No one said it's going to be easy.
I think it's going to be
easy.
I think they'll win by 7. I got like 28-21, something along those lines. But
it's going to be 24-21 Miami.
I also want to bring up the SEC bias and how they've basically been eviscerated the last 2 years of the playoff. Like, should we have a conversation about like whether the SEC should get as many bids as they do? Because I mean, Oklahoma out first round, Alabama out second round, Texas A&M out first round. Ole Miss made it to the semis, but they also played a group of 6 team, and then Georgia to make the semis. So like, really, did any SEC team play well in this playoff? I didn't really think so.
I mean, they all played each other. That's the issue. I don't think. I mean, all the better ACC or SEC teams played each other. Alabama, Oklahoma, they played each other. I mean,
but Alabama got boat raced.
You say the better like mentioned Alabama in it.
I'm saying the better SEC teams have made it from their conference. Alabama, Oklahoma, and Georgia, and Ole Miss. They all played each other, and Texas A&M, I guess, but they all made it, and they played each other. So I mean, I don't know. I think if it was more spread out and they didn't give JMU and Tulane those spots, and you know put Alabama at the 12, like they kind of deserved, but you know I don't know, some other team, Notre Dame against Oklahoma or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit different. But I don't know. They all played each other. I don't think it's really a discussion to be had right now. I think the Big Ten is just better. I think that's fair. They're just better right now. But the SEC has always been better in the league. It's not. I don't think it's a bad thing to see another conference be better this year, which the Big Ten has been, and the SEC has been pretty good, but not as good as they should be. But I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal this year. I think it's a down year for the conference. And a big year for the Big Ten because they, you know, the merger.
The too. They struggled last year. I mean, I think we've had discussions about this in the bigger group chat too, where it's like, is NIL kind of killing the SEC to where other teams have an even playing field now, to where like SEC teams are always the best, say even 5 years ago, but now the Big Ten's catching up. The ACC.
Well, Oregon's always got that money. Oregon's always had money. Ohio State obviously has money. You got other colleges like what other Big Ten? Michigan has money. Michigan State has money. I mean, these NIL, yes, it plays a huge factor in these because a lot of these Big Ten, Midwest, you know, West Coast schools, even East Coast like Maryland or whatever, they have money, and it just all depends on how much money you're willing to spend. And like you said, it created an even playing field now because you know you're not paying kids under the desk anymore. You're coming up front and saying, "Hey, we want to pay you this money. Come here." That's how it is.
A perfect example of spending money is Indiana. They're in the national championship. They're one of the biggest spenders of NIL in the entire country.
I know, but they don't even have a 5-star. I don't even know how many 4-stars do they have. They have a couple.
I think they got 3. I think they got 7 4-stars. I think.
Yeah, they don't even have
something
a 5.
Like that.
Is what I'm saying. Like they just, I guess this is a coaching and money. They've been saving this money for years. They haven't had to use it. So, I mean, I don't know.
Goes to show you. I think that goes to show you it's even better what Cignetti is doing. That he's going to be around for a long time. Indiana's going to be a name we're going to remember for a while. Because
I mean, call me crazy, but I think it's more impressive that you know teams are good without NIL. You know, I just think that's a little bit more impressive, but it is what it is.
Well, Indiana teams like it puts teams like Indiana to finally go and get a championship, right? It finally gives teams like somebody like BYU an absolute fighting chance to go do something. Just look at what they did in basketball. Look at what they're doing in basketball. Like it gives these teams, gives these schools a chance to actually be competitive with all of the bigger schools. And we're seeing it firsthand right now with Indiana, which is the biggest thing that I love the most, is because now we get to see a team that we never thought we would see in a national plan for a national championship, right? They've I'm not sure if they've been there. I have to do my research on that, but they've never won one. And for them to be able to walk away and and next week at this time say that they're possibly national champions is something we're probably going to remember for a long time. And I know I have a coworker that went to Indiana, so I'll obviously be rooting for Indiana. And I actually got a coworker that went to Miami too. So, but Miami's going to be around. They've been around forever. Indiana, this is like their first real run at getting a championship. So I'm obviously going to root for my Indiana. So
and it creates more parity too. Like if you would have told me 3 years ago when Wisconsin hired Luke Fickell that we'd be 4-8 and Indiana would be playing for the national championship, I would have laughed in your face. Like it just creates more fun that way because programs that we've never seen before. If you told me that same year that Alabama would lose 38-3 or whatever it was to Indiana, I would have scoffed at you. Like it just creates more parity and entertainment because we're not seeing Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and LSU in the playoffs every single year. We're seeing different teams get their chance.
Which is good because we want to see that type stuff. But, we're going to jump into our next topic, which is the NFL round 1 has been completed. So now we have the bracket on our screen right here. Now we have the Elite 8.
Look, I'm going to go game by game here. Okay. Make it fast as possible. And butt in whenever you need because we got a lot to talk about, but we're just going to do it this way. I'll start in the NFC because AFC just I'll start in the NFC.
Boring
we do have another topic to talk about, which is not as cooked and baked list, but
we'll merge them. We'll merge them. We'll go game by game, talk about who's bad, who's good. Rams versus Panthers. What a game. I thought this was the best game. Well, one of the best games. One of the more entertaining games to watch. It was the first game, and it was just super fun because Bryce Young actually played very well. I was very proud of him. He threw a pick because Coker stopped mid route on a slant. Can't be doing that in the playoffs. That's his experience though. Matt Stafford proved why he's the MVP. I think he played outstanding, even though they were down at one point. The Rams now go to Chicago. Devontae Adams has to be more of a playmaker this next game, man. Puka is going to get double teamed the entire game by that Bears defense. Bears defense isn't that great. Matt Stafford knows what he's going to be doing against that defense, but it's going to be tough. This Bears team is not bad at all. But
our defense is bad. We understand. We get it.
It's bad, but like it's not the worst.
I would say
it's the worst that's left in this playoff.
I think the Bills defense is pretty bad. They can't stop.
I think the Bills outside of Josh Allen and James Cook are pretty bad.
Right. So I think your defense is not the worst, but it's not good at all. And the Niners defense isn't that great. Philly's just bad at offense for some reason. Speaking of, before we get to that, Puka had a great game. Shout out him.
Bryce Young. Am I the one that predicted this?
What do you mean?
I think I predicted this. Yeah, I picked all these teams correctly. Love it.
I got two.
Bryce Young won himself another year. I'm very proud of him. I think he's going to be spectacular in this league, and I think he'll get like a 3-year, $80 million contract with the Panthers. Not a max contract yet because he hasn't proved that much. But
thank you. We're never known for our offense.
Oh, I know, but you got an offensive-minded coach and a spectacular quarterback now. So I mean, you kind of have to now, But, enough with that Rams game. They move on now to the Bears, which we'll get to in a minute, because I know Chris has a lot to say, and I have a lot to say about that coach. But before we get to that, San Francisco 49ers versus the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is so limited. He is so limited,
this, man.
And I'm a Jalen Hurts defender. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's just so limited. The play calling is like hitch routes. They got routes running into each other. I know the offensive play calling wasn't great, but I know Robert Saleh's defense is very hard to get through at the same time. They didn't utilize Saquon that much at all this year, in my opinion. That it kind of hurt them a little bit. AJ Brown, oh my God, I have a
He's a
rank
diva.
for this guy. This man is the biggest crybaby since Antonio Brown,
Yeah,
and
he's a diva.
I don't say
Cousins.
that lightly. This guy whined all year, went on Twitch and streamed saying, "Drop me from my drop me from your fantasy team. There's no point in having me." The next week, gets 10 receptions, 150 yards, they win. Goes to LA, drops everything, but gets all the receptions and all the targets. Okay, the rest of the year, they try to go AJ Brown's way. He gets open, they drop the ball. I understand that they have 2 wide receivers that could be number 1, but we have to really realize who's the number 1 wide receiver. How about the Heisman Devontae Smith? How about that guy? I think he's just better. I've been saying that for the past year. I think Devontae Smith in the Super Bowl last year was unbelievable. I know AJ Brown was as well, but Smith was open almost every single play last year in the Super Bowl. And I think this year he was doing the same exact thing. The 49ers couldn't figure him out until maybe the fourth quarter. Okay. They didn't realize that. Now, Jalen Hurts, man, I don't know. A lot of people are gonna, put this game on him, but I don't think it's on him. I don't. I think it's mainly he was hitting people in the hands. AJ Brown dropped 5 passes? I don't know. I think that's the biggest. They were winning more when they weren't targeting him so much.
But at the same time, they were winning more because of their defense in those games and their offense. Their offense was stuck in neutral all season. Their play calling was terrible. Their offensive line play regressed this year. And they were winning games despite their offense. Their defense was making plays. They were holding teams under 10 points. I think the entire season, it was clear that the way that they were winning in games against Detroit, for example, where they held them to 9 points, Green Bay, where they held them to 7. That's not sustainable. Even Buffalo a couple weeks ago, that's not a sustainable way to win games. Just relying on your defense the entire time. Kevin Patullo has to be gone, and I think there has to be conversations about Sirianni as well.
I don't know about Sirianni. Sirianni's a good coach. Ever since he got in the league, he's been good. Okay, I don't like the Sirianni hate. I think he's actually a pretty good coach. He's not one of the greats, but he did win a Super Bowl. I know Kellen Moore had a lot to do with that because the offense was unstoppable last year. But you have to understand who gets these guys together. Nick Sirianni, he's very situational. He's very good at situational downs.
But he's also had 2 terrible coordinators in the last 3 years. If you think about it, 2 years ago, also their offense imploded down the stretch. Last year, he had the right coordinator. They didn't. They won the Super Bowl. This year, he hires another bad coordinator, and they falter again.
Let me tell you. So listen.
I mean, they won their division again.
I also want to ask, what does Sirianni actually do?
I mean, he brings the guys together. He makes sure everyone's organized. He makes sure all those players are ready to play.
But does he, though? Because they faltered 2 of the last 3 years down the stretch.
They won the Super Bowl last year, Chris. Who cares? I mean, I understand what you're saying. The past 2 out of the 3 years, they didn't make it past, the divisional round. They just won the Super Bowl last year. That's the thing that everyone is getting. They look at all these negatives that are happening 2 years ago. By the way, 3 years ago, he made a Super Bowl as well. I don't know if anyone remembers that as well. They also played.
But he's so coordinator reliant, is what I'm trying to say. And he has objectively probably a top 3 roster in the entire league. Really good defense, really good defensive coordinator, forces a lot of turnovers, sets up the offense in good positions. Sirianni's supposed to be an offensive guy, if you look at it that way. And his offensive units have been god awful 2 of the last 3 years.
Look, but one of the years he won the Super Bowl, and the other year he made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's not on him. He made 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years.
We need to have a discussion about maybe Kellen Moore and being an offensive. Oh
yeah, he's a fever dream.
Brilliant mind.
The Saints are playing well. They played well to end the season.
Yeah, Kellen Moore's great. I've always said that.
I think we need to start putting him in a conversation up there with Ben Johnson and stuff, because
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
But
look at how Dallas looked with
that's
him.
True. But
look at how
Dallas also looked really good with Schottenheimer.
Chargers had a great year with him as well. But
everywhere he goes, their offense is top 5.
I agree. I
don't think not he's 5.
I don't think he's just great. I know the roster he went to is pretty bad. I personally think he should have went to the Titans. But
look at how Saquon looks without him and with him. Look at AJ Brown and Devontae Smith with him and without him.
Devontae Smith been he been getting open, like I said.
Kevin Patullo might
Well, somebody's gonna have
legitimately
to catch
be
the
like a
ball.
bottom 5 offensive coordinator that I've ever seen. So I think this year, at least on that side, it's not really fair to judge. But I think you do bring up a point that Kellen Moore doesn't get as much love as he probably should.
I think
we got to start having conversations about put him in some of the great minds like Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and
he hasn't won much yet. I know he won a Super Bowl.
I think those 3 are head and shoulders above everyone else.
I think as a head coach, you can't put him up there yet. As an offense coordinator, sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying strictly offense. Yeah, he just took over the Saints, right? So it's like, I got to give him some time with that. But he made a dude, Tyler Shuck, who threw a ball without looking, just throws it in the air at Louisville. It makes him look like a competent quarterback. So I will say that. But continue.
Real quick on the Niners. Kyle Shanahan is my coach of the year. I know he's not going to win it.
Boy.
I know he's here we go.
I
know you might as well just bring him on.
Not for real. Look, the Niners. I think Kyle Shanahan is coach of the year. I don't think any coach could do what he's doing right now. I don't think anyone could. I mean,
we're seeing it in Green Bay versus San Fran right now. They have similar amounts of injuries. They're both missing their top tight end. Green Bay's out. San Fran's moving on. That's all I got to say.
I don't think they're going to make it past this next week because Kittle's out, and that's going to suck. George Kittle is a game changer, especially against the Seahawks. So I don't know. It's going to be tough for them. But this past week was unreal. I know Christian McCaffrey has been carrying them on his back the entire year. He's been healthy all year. I don't think he's missed a game. So shout out him. Brock Purdy, he's been making some crazy throws. He's more than just a game manager
people
now.
He ain't no bum.
Yeah, he's more than just a game manager now. He doesn't have the Avengers. He has some Avengers pieces, but he don't got the crazy pieces that he had back then when they made the Super Bowl. Mike McDonald's not the coach of the year. I'm sorry.
I think it's gonna be great. I think it should be Vrabel.
It's gonna be Vrabel. I think Shanahan has been better than Mike McDonald this year. If Shanahan had a healthy team, they would have won the division. Not even.
This should be Vrabel because look at where the Patriots were last year and where they were this year. It's miles different.
I think there's 3 or 4 coaches that have incredible arguments this year. Vrabel's obviously one of them. I think Ben Johnson should get a shout as well for how he transformed that Bears offense this season.
Yeah, but our defense sucks.
Sean Payton, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. People don't want to talk about the dude who has the best freaking record in the league.
Well, he has an attitude. That's why. That's the only reason people. He's been coaching pretty good. I mean, not against who he should be.
Yeah, he's always been a firecracker, even with Drew Brees. He's always been a firecracker.
This is going to be a real test. We're going to really see if they're a legit 1 seed next week when Josh Allen comes into town. So that's going to be fun. But moving on from that 3 to 6 seed, the Niners move on to Seattle next week. The big game that everyone was mad about here in Wisconsin and everyone was happy about in Illinois. Before we get to the AFC, we got to talk about Green Bay.
Go ahead, Chris. I know you got a lot to say, and my dad is ready to hear it. So go ahead and we could have all the other Packer fans on. Well, that's funny, but
so Nazir agrees with me on this. Matt LaFleur, I think, has run his course as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
I agree, but
they need some fresh. If for no other reason, they need fresh ideas in the building because it's clear that the message has gone stale. Rasheed Walker said after week 2, I could see us going 17-0 this year. We went 7-8-1 after that. Now, of course, injuries had part to do with that, but Rasheed Walker was an actual terrorist on Saturday night as well. Every single time someone would break open in one of the deep routes, I saw the all 22. Christian Watson had a wide open touchdown with 1:36 left in that game, but Love didn't have the time to get him the ball. Anthony Belton missed the block. He had to check it down to Josh Jacobs. He got 3 yards and wasted a ton of time. Jaden Reed dropped the ball with about 40 seconds left. That would have set Green Bay up at the 15, most likely. He just went right off his hands. Took his eye off the ball. Then Watson, alligator arms, another one where it would have set them up on the 2-yard line. It was just, that game was a perfect microcosm of the entire season. You get out strong, you start out well, and then it just all crumbles like a house of cards. That game was the perfect representation of Ben Johnson's culture versus Matt LaFleur's culture. Ben Johnson, good, better, best. His team never quits. Matt LaFleur's team, anytime anything goes wrong, I knew that game was going to turn on its head the second McManus missed that field goal. Because anytime you let in even a crack of doubts, he crumbles like a house of cards. This has happened year after year after year after year with him. They blew 5 double-digit leads this season. I don't know how in good faith you can bring him back. I don't see it.
Jalen,
I can't put the other 3 comments on there because the kids might be watching. But all I can say is just a beautiful morning to hear this kind of talk from Packer fans that we've been hearing for years. Thanks, Jalen. Yes. I enjoy beating Matt LaFleur 2 times a week. I enjoy it.
A year. He meant the year.
He called his shot. Like, I can't even talk shit about Ben Johnson because he's owned us for 4 years now. With Detroit, he owned us. With Chicago, he owned us again. Also, if you don't believe Caleb Williams is the franchise quarterback at this point, I don't know what to say to you because there's just too much. There's a lot of things he has to work on. I think he's still very much a work in progress, but it's also the end of year 2. It's only been 2 years of him starting. If he just cleans up some of those little things, there were receivers that he missed in that game. I don't think he had the best game of his career. Fourth quarter is obviously different because he had a great fourth quarter, but up until then, he was iffy at best. But, I mean, if you don't believe that he's the guy in Chicago at this point, I don't know what to tell you because him and Love are going to be duking it out for probably the next 10 years at least, and it's going to be a lot of fun every single game.
Now, as a Bears fan, I will say that Caleb does need he does have some stuff to work on. He, like me, I was talking to my dad the other day, like throughout the season, like he can't throw over the middle of the field consistently. He can't throw the ball over his shoulder.
This is too far. He owns you, buddy. Relax.
Dude,
well, I think he's just saying go to retirement home. Like, stop trying to come back and play. Like, I think he's just saying that's the end. Like, just stop. Should have been the end last year.
We'll get to that game in a minute. Keep going.
Yeah, but I will say that Caleb Williams does got to work on throwing the ball over the middle of the field consistently. He does have to throw the ball over the shoulder consistently. So he still has things to work on. He doesn't like the easy throws that he has to set in the pocket. He throws fastballs, and the dude is like 4 yards in front of him. Like we know he has some things to work on still. It's only year 2, but it's exciting to see that the Bears are a competent team that can be a perennial playoff team every season, be in the discussion every year instead of having to go home with 5-12, knowing the season is over by week 15. So.
And I do want to add for the Bears before I go back, because I wanted to talk about Jordan Love a little bit as well. This is the worst roster the Bears are probably going to have in their next 4 or 5 years. I could see a world where they swing for the fences this year and make a trade for a Max Crosby, a TJ Watt, someone of that caliber, to where they really upgrade that pass rush. And if they do that, I'd have to put them as division favorites, even with Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft, Zach Tom healthy. And dare I say it, they're up there with the Seahawks and the Rams as the Super Bowl favorites, because if they can get consistent play on the other side of the ball that isn't just forcing turnovers, that offense is good enough to win them any game. But back to Jordan Love really quickly. I thought he did all he could on Saturday. There was just a lot of mistakes. He had 4 touchdowns in that game. Receivers were dropping balls at the end of the game. It was just the most Packers way to lose possible in that game. This is what we've been since Matt LaFleur became the head coach. Just find new embarrassing ways to lose big games. But I thought Love played really well. He was finding guys. It's just that ball to Watson at the end was on a rope. He just alligator armed it. He put his arm up like this, did not extend whatsoever. Could have made the greatest catch of the season, but it wasn't meant to be.
All right, real quick before we move on to the AFC, My quick thoughts on this game: Jordan Love played amazing. Romeo Dobbs played amazing. You need to resign him. You need to get rid of Rashad Gary.
He's going to get a bag from someone this offseason, but it's not going to be us.
You better get Clay Walker back. I think I will say this. With Micah Parsons, this entire rest of the season is completely different. I know you guys haven't won a game since you beat the Bears, I don't think. So I think it's a little bit different with Micah Parsons, a game changer like that on the field. I think everyone knows that, even with Tucker Kraft. Jordan Love played out of his mind, like I said before. Now, to Matt LaFleur, I have been critical of him all year. I don't think he had his best coaching year at all, I'll be honest. But to fire him right now because of Brandon McManus missing 3 field goals when they would have won if they made some field goals. I don't think that's on Matt LaFleur, because let's backtrack the game here a little bit.
But this is a consistent issue.
Hold on.
This is every season.
Hold on. They started off good. They started off great. Jordan Love looked like he was just going to destroy the Bears. I mean, that's what he was doing. He did himself. He was destroying the Bears, keeping the Packers in the game. Now, at halftime, those are the issues that Matt LaFleur has had all season, even with Micah Parsons, even with Tucker Kraft healthy. Matt LaFleur has not been able to adjust at halftime, and it showed a little bit, well, a lot of it, this game, because it 21-3. I know they scored in the fourth quarter to put themselves back up, but I mean, this is kind of the issue you have with Mike McCarthy. I mean, the defense just did show up. You don't have Micah Parsons right now in the fourth quarter to keep it clutch, which in the fourth quarter, when Micah Parsons was in the game, by the way, you guys were the best defense in the league in the fourth quarter. So again, I don't think any of this is really, I don't think you should go to the extent of firing Matt LaFleur. I think you should fire, the special teams coach, the kicker. I think you guys need to reevaluate on defense. I think you need a little bit more on offense to make sure down the stretch that you can win these games. Josh Jacobs needs to get a little bit more involved in those games, because he only had 6 yards in the third and fourth quarter, I believe. I don't think he had many rushes at all in the second half.
Correct.
I don't think this is really the end for the Packers. I don't think Matt LaFleur should get fired for this, because I think he did all he could. I truly believe so. And it's not really, I see Jalen's dad in the comments saying excuses, not really excuses, because when they were healthy, they owned you. I mean, that's a fact. So I don't think it's time to move on from Matt LaFleur yet. I'm not a big fan of Matt LaFleur this year, but in the past, I've been a fan, because his appeal as coach is offensive minded. He's a great play caller. He just has to get out of his head about these screens and these, check downs every now and then in the clutch, which makes no sense. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. There's no one else you should hire right now. If you want to hire Harbaugh, you're committing to a completely different system, and that just wouldn't work out. But moving on, AFC, Texans, Steelers. I think we all know this is gonna happen. The Steelers offense, even with DK was just disgusting last night.
Terrible.
Just couldn't do
Absolutely
anything.
Terrible.
Gainwell was the highlight of that offense. They couldn't do anything else. I think Gainwell
starting to see why a little bit why the Seahawks moved on from DK.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a drama queen, and he's never elevated to the level they wanted him to.
I mean, he's a huge wideout that does nothing. I mean, he just runs fast. I mean, he can't route run, he can't separate. He's strong, he can block. That's about all he can do. He's
even then, he wasn't a good blocker last night either. That run game did not get going at all. That offense was just stuck.
Right, and I think Gainwell is the MVP of this offense. I think he's just so good. I've been a fan of him all year. He's amazing. The Texans, the defense is just really good, and CJ Stroud is not very good.
CJ Stroud was awful yesterday. He was terrible.
I don't think he played great at all, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, CJ is winning all these playoff games." He's not really. It's his defense, and I really don't think it's that hard to tell that it's not CJ Stroud doing this. It's the defense, and Drake May's gonna have a handful with that defense next week, but. Not really much to say about that game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I hope that wasn't his last game. I hope they fired, Mike Tomlin, I think it's time for him to go. I love Mike Tomlin, but I think it's time to go because Kyle Shanahan now has more career playoff wins than him, and he's been coaching a decade longer than Kyle Shanahan. It's just time to go.
Well, and like I said about Matt LaFleur, I think ideas, and John Harbaugh is the same way. Ideas just run stale after a while. And Mike Tomlin's very much in that position. They've been treading water for such a long time. I've said this since earlier in the season that it was time for him to go. And I think now it's clearer than ever.
Yeah, and DK, I don't know. They shouldn't have got rid of Pickens. I think Pickens should have stayed. I know he was big drama queen as well, but you got to keep players like that with DK to help Aaron Rodgers out a little bit because Calvin Austin was not doing anything to help them out, and Adam Thielen can only do so much. I don't know why he went to the Steelers, by the way, but if you guys don't have anything else to say about that game because it was a snooze fest, we can move on to some better talking points. 6-3, 6 seed Bills going at the number 3 seed Jags. T-Law did not play great in my eyes. I know Sam thinks he played great, but he did not. He threw the ball to the defense twice and cost them some downs down the stretch. Josh Allen played like Superman. James Cook, he's going to have to show up this game against Denver. I know that, but the Jags, they had a little bit of a fun run there, but the AFC South inevitably is just not that great. I don't think any of those teams are that great. I don't think any of those teams are going to move that far, even with the Texans defense being that good. The Jags just didn't have enough what it took to defeat Josh Allen because he played like Superman. He played like he should. And, that last drive kind of proved why he's the best quarterback in the league right now. So, or in the playoffs at least. So it's going to be fun to watch him go against Denver's defense, which I think is I don't think it's better than Houston's, but I think it's on that level to where it could get kind of dicey. So, any comments on that game?
No, it's just Josh Allen did what he had to do. I thought ultimately when I was talking about that about the game toward the end, I was like, he should have took some knees to run the clock out, to then get that touchdown pushed in. But I mean, the defense showed up. He trusted his defense and went out there and they capitalized and won the game for him. So
I think something to look out for also is Josh Allen's pretty banged up right now. He went to the medical tent 3 times on Saturday. So
this is
Josh Allen's never not going to play. He's always going to be.
No, I know. I'm just saying something to look out for. I mean, better defense coming in this week. So
gotta give
what the Broncos need to do.
I think in this one,
Broncos need to get him to be mobile because he's not 100%. So,
yep.
This is a game that Josh Allen probably loses 2 years ago. Like, he falls apart down the stretch. And this is a game, like I said, they probably lose 2 years ago. And they found a way to win. And Jacksonville was white hot coming into this game. I had them as my team going to the Super Bowl from the AFC because I like the trendy pick there. Trevor Lawrence was playing at an MVP level down the stretch, and they shut him down. So you got to give credit where credit's due there. Denver versus Buffalo is going to be a heck of a game. Great defense versus great offense, and I mean it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend.
I wish that could be the AFC Championship game, but Houston had to win, which sucks, but it is what it is.
In the last game.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid it. But look, let's we'll keep this. You know what? F it.
Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest.
All right. Let's start with Justin Herbert. Okay.
Yep. Rub them eyeballs.
That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback.
That's his GOAT.
Listen. I still stand on no other quarterback would be able to get us to the playoffs under that O-line. No one. I truly believe that. Not even Mahomes could do it because he got hurt this year, by the way. So I don't think any other quarterback could do it. I truly believe that. But knowing your O-line is this bad, and I blame the entire game on the O-line. Yes, I do. But there's a lot of stuff with this team. 3 points in the playoffs, unacceptable. Okay, Justin Herbert, you have to adapt. I've been saying that since the Eagles game, where we won. We beat the Eagles. But even in the Eagles game, there were moments where I'm like, dude, you got to be able to throw the ball, and these type. You got to sit in the pocket. You have to. You got to sit in the pocket. You got to find these. You got to find these wide receivers. You got to let them get open. I know that he doesn't have a lot of time. It's hard to really, kind of say what he has to do because he's not able to do much. But all I know is if you step up and you roll out, you cut off half the field. You veer right, you can't throw to the left anymore because I mean that's rule number one as quarterback. If you leave the pocket, you can't throw to the other side of the field. No one's gonna do that. You're limited at that point. You have the right side of the field at that point. You can only throw to that side. Therefore, everyone else is eliminated in this game because they're playing man coverage and no one can get free. So you got to run. You got to try to be Josh Allen. You're not Josh Allen. You're Justin Herbert. Be yourself. Sit in the pocket. Get open. Ladd McConkey, get open. Keenan Allen's dropping balls. QJ is getting clamped by Christian Gonzalez. Not much he can do. I mean, I like QJ this year. Christian Gonzalez is arguably the best corner in the league right now. I mean, I know PS2 is coming back this week, but it's just it's stuff like that. Justin Herbert, you have to adapt. He's still my quarterback. I was a little harsh on him the other day, but I went to watch the film a little bit. And the O-line, there's not much you can do. I'm being honest. Not much you can do, especially in that fourth quarter. But 3 points is unacceptable when you're in the red zone twice. You have to be able to score something. I know Harbaugh decided to go for it. Speaking of coaching, Greg Roman, if you guys didn't know this, Greg Roman coached the Ravens that one year, 2024.
Oh, I know.
He was the offensive coordinator of that team that made the AFC Championship, and they didn't score more than 10. I don't even know how much they put. They didn't put up a lot of points that game. The Chiefs won by like 6 or something like that. Greg Roman in the playoffs averages 11 points. In what mind? We were talking about Matt LaFleur hiring, hiring these idiotic coaches and stuff like that, and Sirianni hiring these idiotic coordinators. Harbaugh, in what mind do you see your brother make the AFC Championship a few years ago, and you see this offensive coordinator that put up 11 points per game with Lamar Jackson at quarterback? What in your right mind thinks, hey, let's go hire this guy? The guy runs routes into each other and no one's able to separate and get open. The defense is predicting our plays. The offense doesn't know what to do against defenses like the Patriots, even though the Patriots don't even have that great of a defense. I mean, it's just you gotta hire better. You gotta be a better hire than that. Harbaugh's a great coach. I have faith in him and Herbert. It's just Herbert. You got to be able to adapt in situations like that if you want to be a great quarterback in this league. The defense played outstanding. Jesse Minter's probably out of here. I hope he's not. If I was the Chargers, I'd go to his offense and just put a blank check in front of him. However much you want, we'll keep you. We'll keep you. Just put it down. We'll pay you. Doesn't matter. I'm not impressed with the Patriots. To be honest with you, I'm not really impressed with Drake May that much. I wasn't impressed at all. I mean, the Chargers defense pretty much limited him, and I think the Houston Texans defense is going to do the exact same. I'm not a big Drake May believer. I haven't been. I don't think he's as great as everyone says he is. I think this game was in our hands, and we could have and we should have won this game, but it was just the O-line was just too battered up, and we have the worst center in the league. And, we didn't play Hampton much because he has a hobbled ankle. I think that would have been a difference maker as well. So I'm not sold on the Patriots like everyone else is. I think they're going to get destroyed by the Houston and their defense, especially after watching last night. I think Houston's going to copy exactly what the Chargers did this week and limit Drake May. It's going to be tough. So that's what I got.
It'll be very interesting to see. Broncos, I'm ready to finally see them play. I want to see what they got. They've had an extra week to prepare and get healthy. So no excuses for me with them. So we're going to jump into our last topic. We're going to get into final thoughts, actually.
Go ahead,
I mean, going back to Matt LaFleur, I just want to touch on that really quick. Because I didn't really get to rebuttal what you were saying much. Robert Saleh said this, I believe it was after 2021's playoff loss, the last loss with Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. He said, we knew if we took them out to deep water, we could drown them. And that I think just kind of speaks to the culture that Matt LaFleur has implemented. There's not a killer culture. Like when you look at teams like the Lions where they want to bite your kneecaps off and they're always going to give 110% no matter what. Even if you look at the Bears in that game, I don't know. It's different. Like Ben Johnson with his good, better, best, never let it rest type mentality. It's completely different. They don't give up. When the Packers fall behind, they quit. And the Bears don't. Other teams don't. The Niners don't. I mean, that's my main argument for firing him. That and he's been there 7 years and we haven't made a Super Bowl yet. It's very rare that if you've been there that long and haven't made a Super Bowl, you're probably not going to.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing about Mike Tomlin, but he won. That won.
But even then, Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years now. The ideas have clearly gone stale in Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin is the Doc Rivers of the
Would you rather have
I think
winning
John Harbaugh
seasons and make the playoffs every year for a chance, or just be like the Bears for the last, or the Lions for the last 10 years? I think I'd rather have a winning record.
But does Pittsburgh really have a chance when they make the playoffs? So, like, they're making it in, and they're just getting their butts kicked every single time.
And they're in draft like hell because they can't do anything with a top pick. So
they should have took Shedeur Sanders. He's right there.
Same thing. Said the same exact thing. I mean, I know he didn't have a great year, but
he's a rookie.
Look, my final thoughts. I don't know, man. I'm excited to get Joe Alt back and Slater back. When Joe Alt was in the game this year, we were undefeated. When he was out, we struggled. We still won games without him, but not to the degree that we were doing when we were winning. I think with Slater back as well, we got to fix our interior line. We got to get a new center. Lindenbaum is on the market. Pay him every dollar you can. Protect Herbert. Tom Brady said it himself. Protect Herbert. He's the best passer in the league. Can't argue with the GOAT. So, and by the way, the Bucks fire Doc Rivers. I like Doc Rivers, but it's fine.
I'm sure Doc Rivers is fine as a human being.
Oh, he's great. He's a great human. I met him.
He's past his expiration date as a basketball coach. Like, and it's become more and more obvious since he left LA.
I think it's time for him to go.
He expired in 2020, and it's just so obvious to me.
I will say my final thoughts. Cubs sign Alex Bregman and trade for Edward Cabrera. So I can't wait for baseball season at this point. All they got to do is sign Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger. And they did not complete our offseason moves, in my opinion.
4 out of 5 teams in the NL Central have made moves. The other one won the division and got swept in the second round.
Yeah. I'm ready to see what the Cubs got. They put together a really fantastic move. You're still. What did you say? The Brewers are still waiting on their move.
I don't think they're making one.
Wow.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. They've all but confirmed already that Joey Ortiz is going to be the starting shortstop this year, which I think is complete malpractice, if you ask me.
Seems like Sam hates that. Man, Sam was one of the highest critics on Joey Ortiz. Got a good welcome song though. I liked it last year.
A lot of people don't like Joey, man. I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't like him.
Well, when you have the bases loaded 30 times throughout the regular season and have like 2 hits out of that, like that's inexcusable.
I agree.
But Cubs made a great move, fantastic moves, 2 moves so far. Waiting on the last one. Hopefully they get Tucker or Bellinger as the final piece to make them a World Series contender. I think they're a perennial playoff team that can make a run with the roster that they got. But I think you still need that one more. Like I said, when they got Kyle Tucker, don't trade Bellinger. You still need that one bat. You still need that one back to make the lineup longer so you can face the Dodgers. Obviously, the Brewers went on a magical run last season. Will I say that's going to happen again? Probably not. But they will be up there fighting for the division, though. They will be up there close with the division, though. It won't be a runaway, I don't think, this year, but it will be close. If you get a bat, then that changes everything.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, man.
Well,
it's going to be a fun run of Wisconsin, Illinois sports. For the
next 10 years, yeah.
With what money are we going to make moves, bro?
We're not going to sign anybody, I'm sorry. They're just Mark's not – I mean, he wouldn't even pay Contreras what he's worth in arbitration, and Contreras was our most clutch player last season.
Exactly.
Well, it's on the end of the show, fellas. So subscribe, like, share, and comment. Follow our podcast page on other platforms. We appreciate all the support. We have a Spotify, Instagram, and a TikTok where we will be posting reels of this show. And then we will have shorts of each topic of this show. We have polls, question boxes that you can always DM us on things you want to have answered, whether it's whatever, film, music, travel, or life outtakes. We do that as well. Go ahead, DM us. We appreciate all of it. We try to answer it all. And if we don't see you Thursday or Friday, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, Indiana's national champions.
You'll see me Friday.
Yeah, we'll see.